Hello and welcome to tutorial number 3 for the Zoom multi-stop MS-70CDR. This is tutorial number 3. Please watch number 1 and number 2 so you understand what's going on here. They are a series and they are building on each tutorial. In tutorial 1 I explained that I'm using this as an effects loop through my mixer. So everything you're hearing today on a multi-stop is being run through the effects loop of the mixer. And we're being very specific with this pedal also. It's being used for recording only, and it's being used for synthesizers only. So today I've got a synthesizer, and we're using an analog synthesizer today, a mono synth, and it's the Micro Boot. Very old and trustworthy synth. So that's our source, and we're going to start the day off because I have spoken to you before about the stereo width of your stereo field and the depth of the stage. We can bring instruments back and we can bring them forward with effects, and besides the panning we can use effects to actually create a stereo field. So today, let me turn off the effects. Here is the synthesizer as a it's a monoric synthesizer. So there's no stereo field, and it can only play one note at a time. So it sounds pretty plain, sounds pretty ordinary, and it's right in your face. It's right at the front of the stage. It's like you're playing it right in front of you. So when I turn the effects on, it's going to put a stereo delay in, which is called a ping pong, very basic delay. I will show you in a minute. And it's got it's got the analog delay, which with the ping pong turned on, and it's got a Hall together. So we still got a very strong synth coming through with some delay and with some reverb, giving it a little more width, because the delay is working in a ping-pong right-left motion. So let's turn off the Hall and listen to just the delay. And that delay was set up for a sequence. So let's turn the sequence on. There's the original signal from the synth, and here is just the delay with a ping pong going right-left. And there's a simple switch in here. Let's go to the switch. And there's the ping pong switch. And there's the difference between a mono and a stereo delay. And now we're going to add the reverb. All effects off. Now what you might notice is the synth is still pretty much in the front of the stage. And that's because I have a lot of analog signal going through with the effects. But the mixer allows me to trim that out. So I'm going to, you've heard the width we're getting with the stereo now, combined with the reverb to give it a Hall. But now I'm going to back it off the front of the stage and take it to the back of the stage. Now this, I'm saying stage because that's the easiest to imagine, but if you're doing ambient work, that's a matter of taking the synth out of your face and taking it back into your atmosphere. So whether it's space, you know, we're talking about space, whether it's actual outer space, or maybe you want to be listening to your synth across the other side of the Grand Canyon. So we're going to take the synth out of the front and bring it to the back. And I can keep dropping that farther and farther back. And now let's bring that back up front again. And let's turn the effects off. And that's the two fields we're talking about. We're talking about bringing instruments forward and back through the effects, and I showed you how we can widen the stereo field through effects. And all we did is set up the delay. We're using this analog delay today, and we just set it up to go ping pong back and forth. You heard me just switch it on and off, and it was very hard to hear because delay is coming first, and in the chain of effects it goes this way. So delay I have on the first chain, and the hall is on second. So the hall is softening that ping pong quite a bit. So let's turn off the reverb and listen to just the delay with the ping pong in mono and stereo. And then stereo. Now let's go ahead and add the reverb and listen carefully. So the hall and the reverb are working very close together to create this bigger, wider stereo field. And as I showed you before, you can back that way off into the distance also. Now that was fine-tuned for this particular sequence. But this, as you can see, when I just play if I play legato, not the best sounding combination anymore, is it? Let's go with a little more. And let's take all the effects off. Back on. And that's legato play with a little adjustment there. increase the release and increase the decay for a smoother solo synth, for slower play, something that wouldn't sound very good. Something totally different on the sequence. Okay, so let's take this solo play and bring it farther back into our environment. And farther back into the environment. And let's take it back to where it was. Now we can do just something quite in between. And with the effects off. And effects back to the basically center. So depending on your stereo mix that you're making up, you might want to bring it forward and back. Also, if you just wanted this synth to be positioned maybe over to the left while you play another synth to the right, then you're not going to want this ping pong effect that we got on here. Because it's using up too much of the stereo field. So let's turn that off. And normally you would pan that to the left a little bit. And then mix in your other instruments on the right. You see that delay doesn't work very well by itself, because the delay needs to work because our chain is got two effects in it and it needs to work together. If I was using the delay all by itself, I'm going to want it at a shorter time, less feedback, all right. So now you don't have that annoying delay coming in. The delay is very short and it's just fattening. Let's see, our reverb is off. Let's turn the delay off. Delay back on. You can see it's making it bigger. Not only is it fattening, but it's also creating that ping pong delay, giving us a little wider. Let's turn the delay off and just use reverb. So now we'll put them both together with the shorter delay. Most likely with the short delay we're not going to hear much difference. So with the delay turned off, it's really not a lot different because of the short delay. So we bring the milliseconds up, and if you remember the last tutorial with delays, milliseconds, there's 1,000 milliseconds in 1 second, so 538's half of a second. So now the delay is going to enhance the reverb. Here it is without delay. Now with the longer delay we should hear. Hope you can hear that. The delay is adding to the richness of the reverb as they work together here. And that's the tutorial for today. The next tutorial, our tutorial number 4, we are going to finally use this zoom in the way it was intended, and that is a very creative chain of effects. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this analog synth, we're going to take a kind of a thin sound design on it, and then we're going to beef it up with the zoom. We're going to beef it up with a short delay to give it fatness. We're going to add a stereo delay on top of the other delay to give it width, and we're going to give it a reverb on top of that. And if there's any processing left in it, we will put a sub in there. There's besides this being a chorus, delay, and reverb, it's also got a lot of other features in there that they don't even say, but they have given you. And there's ways of putting a synthesizer on top of another synthesizer. And we'll be getting into that in the next tutorial. So stay tuned and watch out for the new stuff coming out. Thanks for listening. See ya.